This video is specifically for chronic4, what's the name? chronic4twen. Just after watching some of this guy's video, really depressed, lonely, and my heart definitely goes out to you. And I feel where you're coming from, and for those that are just sort of watching this video, this one's for him specifically, but it will, anybody else that wants to try this out, this information is for you as well. I have made other videos on this. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the Dragon's Den, but these are elites that I didn't have to audition for their show. They came and found me and wanted me on their show without auditioning. They paid for my flight. They clearly were doing everything in their power to make it feel like, hey, we really want you on this. When they were coming up with the show, when we were taping the show, they let me know I had first choice of what show I wanted to be on, what date I wanted to be on. I had the choice of did I want to go first or last, or everything was, what can we do for you? How can we, make this better? And they put me more special than anybody else. They let me have the choice, of what it is that I wanted, where everybody else was just told what to do. They all had to audition. They all had to do what they were told. But for me, they were like, how can we make this good for you? How can we make this work for you? And then when I got on the show, they didn't want me speaking. They didn't let me explain anything to do with this concept. The only thing they wanted to do was call me a nutmar. And first of all, I only went on that show for the publicity, the free advertising, and I knew that they would criticize me. I kind of was anticipating that, because they're elites. They're dealing with a lack of love. They're dealing with nothing but pure greed. And this concept that I know would work has to be a nonprofit. It can't be something that you something this good, if it's done from a greed source, would be every bit as evil. Will create so much harm on the planet if it was done from a source of greed. So that's why the only way that this has power is if it was done from a nonprofit. And let's face it, these dragons don't even comprehend what doing good into the world would look like. So it was, I was definitely targeted as, let's make this person look as crazy as possible so nobody would listen to anything she's got to say. So the amount of negative energy they were throwing at me is the amount that they knew that this was important, that they knew they wanted to prevent people from knowing this stuff, because every one of them would have lost control. They know that this would definitely crash the system in a way that they can never take advantage of another human being out of greed. They know that this is their worst enemy, so they treated me like I was their worst enemy, and they tried to use the airwaves. So there's a little bit of power. Why do rich people don't want you to know this stuff? Why do dragons, we want to say that there's, reptiles and dragons. Well, this was the Dragon's Den, and ask yourself why they would not want this even explained, because they wouldn't even let me talk about it. If you watched any of the shows, did I explain anything about this? No, because they didn't want to know. They were just attack. It's like, how can you attack something without even knowing what the hell it is? It was the most ridiculous experience I've ever seen, and these guys called themselves brilliant. Anyways, it is a water concept, and this is what I used, and it really will help you get centered. I'll probably make this video in a two-part, because it's probably going to be long. But you have to first understand that If you are dealing from a lack, you will create the lack that you're experiencing. If you are lacking love, then everything in your world will confirm that lack of love. Everything that you experience will confirm what's inside you. So you are like a magnet to your experiences. So you can't wish for something and hope you'll get it. You have to be something and then watch it get attracted. There is a lot of sciences that explain it, but I'm just going to tell you how to use this. First of all, there's a lot of science about how water changes what's inside you, but just drinking this, if what's inside you is a lack, then no matter what the intention is on the bottle, you change whatever in the bottle. So it doesn't make any difference. The labels on these bottles will not make any difference to the water that you're drinking if inside you has more power than the label on this bottle, which, believe me, your brain is a lot more powerful than the words on a bottle. So it's more of a suggestion. The words on the bottles are more of a suggestion to your mind, because everything that you experience is a suggestion for you to experience that. And right now the whole world is about hate and lack of love. So all of these suggestions of a lack of love is influencing you to feel it. And that's all it is. It's just your outside world is influencing you to feel what it is you feel. So you need to put other influences that make a suggestion. But this can be used for anybody that's depressed. Use this as more of a medicated form, is by I have 6. There's 6 of these bottles. I'll go through all of them, and they're 500 mils. So it's good for your body to flush your body out, drinking a good amount of water every day. So 6 500 mils of water every day will keep your body really, really flushed and healthy. And then the intentions. This one here is alignment and harmony. And the goal is that when you drink this, you have to go, okay, what does it feel like to be in alignment with the rest of the planet? What does it feel like to be, in harmony with the rest of the planet? You have to really try to explore what that feels like. There's got to be a moment in your life where you did feel connected with something. Even if it's hate, you're connected with hate. So it's don't get connected with the hate. Get connected with the feeling of being in alignment with something. I'm in perfect alignment. What does that feel like? And then when you feel, you know what it feels like to be in alignment, then every time you take a sip out of this, it's for you to remember what does it feel like, and you have to literally force your body and your brain to feel it. It may not come the first day, but the more you try this, within 30 days you'll have a completely different experience, because you are dealing with sort of like a brain imbalance, a chemical imbalance, but that chemical imbalance is based on what it is that you think about. So if you control what it is you think about, and you force your body to create the chemicals that sustain a certain feeling, over 30 days you develop like an addiction to those feelings. So, and what I did when I was completely crashed, and like you have to get yourself into a sort of like that root feeling that you want to feel before you end up getting any answers. If you're angry, frustrated, and you ask the universe, you listen to yourself or you listen to your intuition, you're going to go down the wrong direction at all times. So you have to get yourself somewhat centered. Get back into what it is that you want to attract before you start asking the universe for some answers. So this particular one is alignment and harmony. All of us are completely disconnected. So this is why this is a really good bottle of good intention to feel, is because we're all disconnected. We all need to join back in together. So it's really important for you to develop the chemical experience of feeling in alignment and in harmony with other people. Even if it's just with me. You know, just, do you feel like you're in alignment with anything that I've got to say? What does that feel like? And then try and feel that every time you drink that bottle. Then the next one is abundance and prosperity. What does it feel like to feel abundant? What does it feel like to be a lucky person? Somewhere in your history, you will have a feeling of what it feels like to feel abundant and prosperous. You know, try to look for the smallest signs of, when did you eat yesterday? How did you get what you needed to eat? Because you were an abundant being. You know, like, you have to feel what it feels like to be an abundant and prosperous being. Once you feel that, then you'll see that you'll be a magnet and attract it. But again, all of these bottles, when you drink it, you actually have to feel what the feeling feels like. And if you do that with 500 mils, all of these 6 bottles for 30 days, you are literally changing the chemicals in your brain. And then you will start to experience and attract everything that you want. The next one is accepting and allowing. Most of reality is like 99% of everything is invisible. All problems are nothing more than a solution waiting to unfold. In order for you to see something wrong, you know what's right. But you're not communicating the things that are right. You're just communicating about all those things that's wrong. And it's like, doesn't make any logic sense when you do know the answer. Why is it you're not talking about the answer and more talking about everything that's wrong? Because you're not accepting and allowing that, okay, this is really bad shit, but I know it's a really good thing. Because you want the solution. You are experiencing only a problem because you're trying to unfold a solution. You are baking a cake of a solution. In order for you to bake that cake, you need to experience the problem. It's just the first stages of a solution. But if you get caught up in the problem, if you get caught up in the negative emotions of a problem, then you'll never get out of it. You're trapped into it. So it's like you got to sort of just sit back, accept and allow. Things are shit, but it doesn't mean it's going to be shit all the time. Just accept and allow, and then that ends up allowing you to see what's good about everything. So that's a very important intention. It does make you just sort of have a little bit more calming. Just accepting and allowing doesn't mean you accept bad behavior. It just means, okay, I see what's wrong, but now I need to calm down and get rational. Anger is the drive to solve a problem, but anger doesn't solve any problems. It's just the drive. After you get angry and recognize the problem, it's time to pull back and try to get better information. You can only get better information when you're in a loving state of being. So it's crucial to experience accepting and allowing. Then the next one is love and happiness. Again, you can't go outside your external world expecting love and happiness to be attracted to you. You actually have to be love. You have to be happy. As soon as you're happy, everybody's dying to get a piece of that. So if you're a happy being, it will act like a magnet, especially today, because everybody's looking for happiness and they can't find it anywhere. So if they see an expression of happiness, they're going to suck the living happiness out of you. So it's like you have to create an enormous amount of love and happiness in yourself and know that people aren't sucking it out of you. You're just giving it away. And then it'll attract. But again, you have to remember, when was the last time that I loved something? If you love a cat, if you love anything, just try and find, when did I experience love and when did I experience happiness? What did that feel like? And then every time you drink one of this, you have to force your body to feel what that felt like. And it's only when you're taking a sip out of it until it's gone. But it is the practice. It is the practice of how much you drink out of this. That every time you take a drink, it is another practice of you learning that. I'm going to go to the next video so I don't get interrupted. Part 2 coming up.